Hi, welcome back to another RoastLog run-through. My name is Lindsay, and I'm going to introduce you to the concept of roastables in this video. So what are roastables? Well, it's a really clever way for commercial roasters to represent and manage coffee based on the different ways you would roast and or prepare those coffees. So in other words, if you use the same green coffee components in a batch brew versus a pour over, or an iced coffee versus an immersion brewer, this would allow you to track these profiles and still manage those coffees within the roast log. Let me take you into the system and give you a little bit more detail. When I log in, the first place I land is always the inbox. And I want to point out here that for each one of these rows, which represents a roasted batch of coffee, you'll notice right off the bat that they're labeled with the roastable. It bears mentioning at this point that on-demand users who use our pay-as-you-go plan won't use the same convention. So you can skip this video or hang out and see how the other plans actually implement this powerful tool. At this point, let's head on over to the Roastables page. So we'll leave our inbox and head over to the Roastables tab, where you'll notice a list of all the roastables that are in use at your specific roasting location. So in this case, it's called City Coffee. On the left-hand column, we've actually got all the names of the roastables, and on the right, we have the specific green beans associated with those particular roastables. So on this first row, you've got an El Salvadorian Al Yutepeque. It's 100% of this specific green coffee component. And likewise, on the second row, you've got a Brazilian composed of this green bean. But I think where it gets interesting is you'll notice here, breakfast blend. This is a two-component blend. It's a 50-50 blend of this Brazilian and this Salvadorian coffee. And so I think it's important to note that roastables are actually a fantastic way to maintain an accurate green inventory for pre-blends. And it's baked into RoastLog's workflow. So anytime, let's say you were to roast this breakfast blend, depending on the batch size that you defined at the beginning of the roast, it would go ahead and decrement your inventory, that is your green bean inventory, by half of that batch size for each one of these green components. Just bear in mind, for pre-blend roasts, excellent way to manage your inventory. If you're new to RoastLog, it's sometimes helpful to think about your menu and how your coffees will be served or prepared. For example, are they bagged as whole beans for sale, served at the bar as a pour over, maybe an espresso or a cold brew? With some thought to a naming convention, it's helpful for tracking your coffees, how they're roasted, and really understanding your business at a deeper level. Another idea is roastables can be also a handy way to manage your roasting for wholesale clients. So for example, if you have multiple wholesale clients that have different preferences for flavor profiles, you can actually manage your roast profiles accordingly using roastables. If I were to go ahead and roastable blend, and we were to, let's name it Mojang Espresso, and it's a two-component blend, maybe made up of an Ethiopian coffee. Yeah, let's grab that one. Maybe it's 40% in this case. And then let's grab a Brazilian coffee. Yeah, let's just grab that first one, 60% for that. You'll notice you can make up to 7 component blends. You can add in description. Perhaps this is for an office client. And this is an interesting fact. Let's say that you wanted to define shrinkage that you observe for this coffee or expect to observe in this coffee. You can actually pre-enter that information into the roastable itself and have that information used downstream when it comes time to figure out your net roasted through coffee. We'll show that to you here in a moment. But if I go back to my roastables page then and scroll down, let's fast forward. Imagine that we're a few months out from when the original roastable was created. And I go into this Mojang Espresso. What you'll notice now is that it's used at our City Coffee location. It's a blend. In this case, we do have roasts associated with it. The shrinkage, as I pointed out earlier, we put in as 14% for this 2-component blend. If I went in and clicked to go view all the roasted batches and the curves associated with that, you'll notice it'll take us back to the inbox and it'll list out all the pros of that specific roastable. If I click on the last roast that we did, you'll notice the roast detail page then comes up with all that information. And with a starting batch size of 25 pounds, then the ending mass is actually auto-calculated based on that 14% shrinkage and gives a 21.5 pound ending mass as your roasted through amount. So as you can imagine, this is a very convenient way to keep all your green coffee inventory levels updated and accurate. So in summary, RoastLog provides a simple way to differentiate roasts based on where those coffees will ultimately end up. So whether it's on your cafe's menu, on a retail shelf, or served, by a wholesale client, the roast curves, the batches will always be managed separately and tied back to specific green lots. And with that, that's your intro to Roastables. Thanks again for being a RoastLog client. We appreciate your business. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to follow up with us using in-app chat or reach out to us at support@roastlog.com.